So DeepSeek is the most controversial topic in the semiconductor industry. It is related to the artificial intelligence, and it has been a while that artificial intelligence is doing a boom in the semiconductor industry. But suddenly news came out of the blue that DeepSeek from China has emerged, and suddenly there are thousands and lakhs of downloads of the DeepSeek code. The most important factor of DeepSeek is basically it is an open source language. That means that it is suitable for any individual who can work on the artificial intelligence. So that's why it has suddenly become very popular. Even the top countries, including the United States, the semiconductor experts also are in agreement that DeepSeek has a long potential, a large potential, I would say. So why DeepSeek? Today we will discuss about what is DeepSeek and how it is emerged. Is it a threat or it is a boon for the semiconductor industry? What does critics say about DeepSeek and how it is going to benefit the semiconductor and the technology worldwide? So let's start with the background of how artificial intelligence was doing when we have heard of the OpenAI and the Meta. We use that Meta in the Facebook and WhatsApp thing. It is a very common to people. OpenAI is something like ChatGPT that we have started using. So previously we used to do a Google search, and now we are moved to the ChatGPT where there is a chatbot as if like a human being on the other side, and you talk with the human being, you give some comments to the human being like a chatbot, and they start replying with it, and the answer is more appropriate than you found for a typical search engine. Now they were using artificial intelligence, I would say, but why it is very common that they are using it on a daily to daily basis. But what happens is that in order to train this artificial intelligence, it is very, very costly. For example, when OpenAI was developed, they require a lot of processing, because you can put anything, right? Any sentence, even they can started taking the images, they can started taking the input file as a input from the user. So it needs to train the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence you can consider as a child, I would say, that the more information, that more data you give to the child, and they start learning, and they will start delivering you the required output. So the more is required for OpenAI that to test the model. They have written the code, but how it is working, they need to have large hardware, large processing power, something like GPU. So previously it was a CPU, now it has started moving to GPU, which is a graphical process unit, and it requires many thousands of GPUs to train its artificial intelligence model. Similarly to Meta also, OpenAI and Meta were using Nvidia. Nvidia is a company, everybody started using they are specialized into the GPU designing. So GPU designing and development, everybody was very much dependent on Nvidia. It was a very common name, and their stock was just skyrocketing because everybody was using Nvidia GPUs. And artificial intelligence was required to be tested and training for the model. These GPUs were being used heavily. Now when the DeepSeek news came to the market, that it requires a very minimal cost of training the model. That means in order to use the DeepSeek, you need to customize DeepSeek, you need to require a very minimal GPU usage. So that means it is very easy, and it is most importantly it is open source. That means it is very easy that you are just sitting on comfortably, and then you download the DeepSeek open source, and then you can build on top of it. Anything you can build, any kind of applications you can build on it. So DeepSeek R1 is particularly started being very popular right now. They are cheaper. That requires maybe $6 million compared to $1,000 million that was being spent on the OpenAI kind of model, and also Meta. And most importantly, it is easily downloadable. So that was all about GPU and DeepSeek. This is cheaper and this is very user friendly. Now what happened is that there was a background of a geopolitical tension what is happening, because all the countries have started being independent on the chip production and the semiconductor innovation. And United States, US was particularly were heavily investing on the AI. Investment on AI means that they were building the AI model with very high cost. Even the GPU cost was something like $70,000 or something like that, $60,000 to $70,000. So people are pouring money on the semiconductor, on the AI companies, something like OpenAI, Nvidia. They were all dealing with this, and that requires very, very costly GPUs. Now with the introduction of DeepSeek, what happened is that certainly the cost has lowered very much. And because of these, I don't know, this is a boon or this is something, a crisis, but suddenly the stock started, falling. Because people who were investing on the semiconductor and the AI thing, they have started thinking that if it is very cheap, they do not require that much of investment on building AI model. So and also importantly, there was a news that there was an export ban on the GPUs, specifically for the Nvidia company. Now Nvidia was dealing with GPU that comes under artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence has been throughout our life, and many other companies like Microsoft, Google, they all were dealing with the artificial intelligence, but they were using artificial intelligence for the game and other applications. But the export ban came in their way that it applies to the GPU. So specifically Nvidia was affected. Since Nvidia was affected, they have a carve on only exporting GPUs to the allies and not to other companies. So something like DeepSeek, which came from China, so that was something introduced in terms of a geopolitical turmoil. So the stock market was going up and downs and all these things. But the critics say, what is important, that what critics say here. Critics say that the low cost approach, is it transparent? The claim that they are doing, maybe they require some $6 million to train a AI model. Is it correct compared to $100 or $1,000 million spent to the artificial intelligence model stuff? And the second most important thing is that, is it a threat to the company who are already building this model? Because if, for example, tomorrow that it has been found that DeepSeek, it is claimed, it is not like that, then there will be a controversy, or there will be a conflict. So that was important. But whether the artificial intelligence model is cheap or costly, the innovation is important for us. Like we are spending our time with the semiconductor, we are innovating everything, so we'll think about that. Innovation is important. Maybe in future the ChatGPT or OpenAI, that can also give some liberty to download the open source models, and we can build on that. So innovation goes first. So it has been found that on the innovation side of things, DeepSeek is truly innovating. It has been accustomed, or it has been agreed by top scientists and top researchers on the artificial intelligence side of things. In conclusion, it is like the smartest AI is important. The latest news which is right now flowing is that the claim by DeepSeek that they are really cheaper to train the model is seemingly true. That means people started believing on using the DeepSeek model. So it is all about DeepSeek. Maybe in my next videos I will try to culture on the DeepSeek, how DeepSeek can be used, something like prompt can be, DeepSeek prompt can be used, possibly how we can download that DeepSeek and try to build some open source model with the help of DeepSeek. So I think that the discussion today would help for people who are new to artificial intelligence, but they have heard of DeepSeek, but they do not know what is DeepSeek and why it has come. So in this discussion, I discussed about the DeepSeek introduction. I talked about the background of artificial intelligence, which is all about the previous OpenAI, Nvidia, and Meta saga. And next, I talked about the geopolitical tension, which was rounding about artificial intelligence and semiconductor. The countries, US, Europe, Asia, India, every countries were somehow developing chip nowadays. I talked about what critics say about DeepSeek, whether their low-cost approach is transparent or not. And in conclusion, what is important is basically the smartest AI. It's not about DeepSeek, it's not about OpenAI, it's not about Meta. Hugging Face is also there. So it's all about semiconductor innovation. So in conclusion, I would like to say that if you are truly interested about semiconductor, if you are truly interested about artificial intelligence, recently I have published a ebook, Semiconductor for All, which discusses all about these AI models and then geopolitical turmoil. It discusses about the new technology. It discusses about semiconductor manufacturing. So you can buy this book, ebook on Amazon, and I will provide the link in the definition and in the comment section of this video, so you can buy and see that. So with that, I just try to conclude this video. If you like it, please send your reaction, and okay, then bye for this video. Thank you. Bye.